Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to Season 4 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, our Hal Prince was matched up with his third mate, Pale Shade, who has come into the clan from the Lightless Clan, Lightless Cats that we have, deep in the mountain. So fingers crossed things are going to go well for the two of them. We had a first mediation session, but it was off to a slow start, obviously because Hal Falcon is still grieving the loss of Fronstar, his second mate who he wasn't too sure about, and Pale Shade is taking her cues from Hal Falcon, so she's trying to be more cautious with him and his, current sensitive state. That aside, our little kitten, Hi Kit, is going to be becoming an apprentice today, so I'm very excited to see who her mentor is going to be, his mentor, and who he is going to look like. I was just thinking about it, and we have not had a princess in such a long time. I think Tornfern is the last princess we had, like the Torn Princess. After her, we have just had, princes. We've had the Hal Prince, the Mouse Prince, and if High Kit survives his training, he's going to be the High Prince. So we have not had any princesses. It's something to think about. Okay, let's go straight to the leader's den and roll the dice to see how she's going to handle the next gathering. We have a 5 on the D10, so that's Lynx Clan, and we have a 5 on the D8, which is a praise. And let's take a look, guys. Let's skip a moon. We have some birth and death notices. Luminous Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick/hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. With the additional focus of the clan, 3 pieces of prey and no herbs were gathered. Luminous Clan doesn't have enough prey for next moon, which means our non-herb gathering patrols are going to be focused on hunting. Lynx Clan's cats keep their distance from Luminous Clan during the gathering. No matter what tack Pale Shade tries, Lynx Clan's leader doesn't seem receptive. Perhaps this alliance is weakening for reasons she isn't aware of. Lynx Clan relations have worsened. Lupine Star gazes up into Silver Pelt and finds that finally the grief has begun to lessen. Pale Shade and Hal Falcon had a huge fight and broke up. Guys, Hal Falcon is such a difficult cat to match up. Pale Shade has been with us for 1 moon, and he has, chased her away pretty much. So, I don't know if it's because he hasn't gotten over his grieving, or Pale Shade, again, is not the one, but Hal Falcon this is the second time he's broken it off, but this is the third relationship that has failed, So they had a huge fight. Maybe Pale Shade was trying to check in on Hal Falcon. We're going to have to see what happened in relationships but for the timeline. But I'm wondering if maybe Pale Shade was trying to check in on Hal Falcon to make sure he was okay, because at the end of the day, they're still mated. She still wants to be attentive. But Hal Falcon just didn't want anyone around him, and he lashed out at her. They had a fight, and they broke it off. So that means that Pale Shade is going to be exiled from the clan because she has not fulfilled her purpose with us, unfortunately. So yeah, this situation was way more difficult than Lupine Star made it out to be. Oh my goodness, Pale Shade. I feel so bad for her because she was doing well. She came in, she was really sweet, and then she went on that hunt. She did a good job, and this is what she gets. I'm so sorry, Pale Shade. I'm so sorry. Okay, Sunchill picks himself up out of his nest and begins the day anew, a fresh conviction in his heart. Hal Falcon was murdered! The culprit isn't known! What? What? What do you mean Hal Falcon was murdered? Guys! Luminous Clan is going to die out. Luminous Clan is going to die out. Remember how I told you guys a couple episodes back that we are in a very precarious situation because we only had 2 cats that could pass on the prophetic bloodline. We had Hal Falcon, and then we had High Kit, who is now High Pole. But theoretically, I said that should anything happen to Hal Falcon before he breeds, and should anything happen to High Kit before he becomes an adult and manages to have his own litter, then the prophetic bloodline dies. Luminous Clan comes to an end. That is it. Hal Falcon is no more. Now we only have one cat, just the one little apprentice who basically holds our entire future in his tiny paws. Okay. Hal Falcon. Even though he is excited to finally be made an apprentice, it takes a bit of coaxing by Mousestripe for High Kit to step forward for his ceremony. Mousestripe watches in pride as he is named High Paw and touches noses with Lupine Star. Okay, so the clan leader has decided that this new apprentice is like so important and so essential to the clan that she is going to take him under her own wing and tutor him herself. She cannot take any chances with High Paw at all. Oh, I feel like she'd be crushed that a nephew died as well. Who the hell murdered Hal Falcon? Like who? Like seriously? Seriously? Someone murdered Hal Falcon knowing how important he was? Ugh. Okay, High Paw wasn't looking where he was going and tripped over a small trunk, gaining a few bruises. Stone Speck is conflicted about Hal Falcon's death. After all, Hal Falcon did a lot of terrible things, but he also did one great thing for Luminous Clan. He died. What do you mean? What do you mean? Stone Speck, I'm gonna be looking at you sideways if you talk like that. I wonder if by horrible things she means that Hal Falcon, he resisted the way of the clan so much and he kept ruining all of his matches. So I'm wondering if that's what she means, that if he was going to be this difficult, then he's kind of better off dying because he wasn't helping the clan with anything. He wasn't helping them progress and to grow the way that they were relying on him to do. Oh my goodness, Hal Falcon? Hal Falcon dead? But Sensual shakes his head, bewildered. They spoke just a sunrise ago, Sensual insists. In the dead of the night, he wails into the vast sky, unable to fathom StarClan's cruelty. He glares up at Silverpelt, gouging the earth with shaky claws. The past moon, Hal Falcon has taken their place in StarClan. Luminous Clan mourns their loss, and their clanmates will miss the spot they took up in their lives. Moments of their life are shared in stories around the circle of mourners as those that were closest to them take them to their final resting place. Oh my goodness. So if Sunchill is the only one who's mourning, I'm going to assume that this time around, Sunchill wasn't the cat to murder Hal Falcon, but it could be anyone else. This also means that Pale Shade is going to be exiled by the clan because she has not fulfilled her purpose. They don't need her to stay in the clan anymore. So they're going to exile Pale Shade. But this also makes me wonder, what if Pale Shade was the one to murder Hal Falcon? Like, will we ever know if she's not in the clan with us for us to find out about it? I'm not entirely sure, guys. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Well. Let's go to the medicine cat den then. See what's going on over here. That means what? I mean, the only two cats with a history of murder is the clan leader herself. But she was close to her nephew. I could see if maybe she got frustrated with him and she kind of gave in and murdered him. I don't know, that would have been pretty extreme. But she was like fond of him, so I don't know if she would have. Then you have Sunchill, the other murderer we've had. But Sunchill, he's in mourning, so I don't think it would have been him either, which means we have a third murderer on the loose in the clan. Okay, Lupine Star gazes up into Silverpelt and finds that the grief has lessened, and then Sunchill's grief lessens too. And that's all we have in the medicine log. Let's see if we can get a timeline on the relationship for like the breakup and then for the murder, I guess, or maybe what happened before he died. Stone Speck is hiding behind a bush, ready to pounce on Sunchill. Stonespeck scolds Hal Falcon for something trivial. Okay, so again, Stonespeck, she scolded Hal Falcon. I think Stonespeck felt that Hal Falcon was being too difficult with Pale Shade, and he was not kind of grasping the situation, the reality of this situation. So she scolded him for that. Lupine Star and Hal Falcon talk about what they see in the clouds. See, Lupine Star then went to chat with Hal Falcon, probably because maybe she overheard Stonespeck scolding him. She felt a bit bad. She has a soft spot for her nephew, and so she went to him, decided to speak to him. They kind of just observed the clouds for a bit. Lupine Star, Tornfern, and Sunchill took a sunbath and had a little small talk. Lupine Star doubts whether Hykit even likes her at all. Okay, that's interesting, considering she ended up taking Hykit as her apprentice. Magpie Heart keeps having bad dreams about Mousestripe. Magpie Heart notices how Tornfern is being helpful around camp. Hal Falcon is saying some harsh things to Pale Shade during a disagreement. Okay, so then Hal Falcon, obviously not really... I'm wondering if he was irritated by the way Stonespeck was talking to him about him handling his mates. And so he kind of lashed out at Pale Shade, and he was really harsh to her in like a simple disagreement they had, because like the words that Stonespeck said to him was weighing on his mind. Pale Shade asks Mousestripe to look at a little cut on her leg, and then Pale Shade and Hal Falcon, like after that, had a huge fight and then they broke up. So I wonder if Hal Falcon felt that Pale Shade was, going to his former apprentice and complaining about him and kind of making a mountain out of a molehill, and he confronted her. They had a fight about it. Pale Shade said, no, that's not what I'm doing. But Hal Falcon was refusing to listen to her, probably because of stuff other people have said. It was just weighing on his mind, and then they broke up. He broke it off. I think he was the one who broke it off. Okay. Sunchill is complaining that Tornfern never does anything helpful. Stripe guides Sunchill to someone he's looking for. Stonespeck explained something in detail to Tornfern that others wouldn't explain to her. Tornfern got a bunch of cats up for morning stretches. They didn't like it. Tornfern swaps favorite prey with Mousestripe. Hal Falcon realizes that he and Mousestripe have had a lot of the same hardships. So then he spoke to his apprentice, about the way life has been for them in the clan. It's been very fast-tracked. I mean, from the stories they hear of, the Luminous Clan eons ago, moons and moons ago, right? Centuries ago at this point. The stuff they hear, it's like the younger cats, they had a lot of time to grow up, and they had a lot of time to kind of live life unfettered before they were tied down with the responsibilities of family and expanding the clan. But for Hal Falcon, for Mousestripe, it's like their life has been fast-tracked. They, as soon as they're kittens, from kittens to being apprentices, having to face starvation, to as soon as they become warriors, they're paired up and expected to have families. It's like very, very speedy, and this is not something, apparently, that used to be a thing with the earlier Luminous cats. So maybe he was talking to Mousestripe about all of that and they were reflecting on it. Mousestripe does something brave with Hykit's support. Something good happens to Hypor and most clanmates congratulate him, but Lupine Star doesn't say anything at all. Okay, this is interesting. So Hykit has had the apprentice ceremony at this stage and has been apprenticed to Lupine Star, we know, because he is so important. He's the last remaining cat that can pass on the prophetic bloodline that we currently have. And so the leader has taken him under her wing, but from what we saw, Lupine Star doesn't seem to get along well with Hypor. So this is a very contentious sort of mentor-apprentice relationship compared to the ones we've seen, who have been really good. So not good. They don't get along, but it's necessary for them to stick together. Stonespeck, and then we had obviously Hal Falcon pass away. Fascinating. Wow. Hal Falcon, I kind of feel bad for him. He had a lot on his mind before he was murdered. And the only suspicious cat, from what I'm seeing, is Stonespeck, but I really don't know who would have killed him. Okay, well that's all we had for events. Let me cut the recording here and we'll continue. Oh wait, no. Hold on. I just didn't even look at Hypor. I didn't even look at Hypor, guys. Hypor, who is now an adolescent and has this strange personality, is still interested in oddities, which is great, and a lover of stories. Okay, so he now loves hearing stories about things that happened in the past, about maybe the cats in the past. And you know what? I kind of feel like maybe this was the influence of him now knowing, I mean, like we said, because of that oddity, like interest that he has, he is the type of cat youngster who is very aware of his surroundings and the state of the clan more so than anyone his age would be. Like almost as though he thinks like an adult cat, right? So knowing that he is not, like now, the most precious cat this clan has, the last surviving cat that can pass on the bloodline, I wonder if Hypor is now becoming fascinated with where their clan came from, who were the founders of their clan, how they started, you know, what happened for them to get to this point, but also the history he now carries within himself. So I think that's maybe what's going on with him and why he's suddenly so intrigued by these tales of the past. Okay, so our strange Hypor and our shameless Lupine Star, who doesn't seem to get along very well with her apprentice. Maybe Lupine Star feels as though Hypor is too, well, idealistic, which is kind of what she was when she was leader the first time around. But for whatever reason, they just don't mesh. Just don't mesh with each other. Maybe Lupine Star feels as though Hypor's interests are a waste of time and he should focus on the now, not on what happened before. And he should think about surviving the present and making it to the future, otherwise the clan isn't going to have any future. Whereas Hypor, for him, it's like there is no future without the past. Okay, well, that was it for events. Let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay, let us continue with the cat list. It just hit me, guys, that we are going to be stuck with this clan size until Hypor becomes an adult, because he is, like I said, the only cat that can pass on that prophetic bloodline, and in the clan right now, he's the only cat that can breed once he is of age. So we have to wait for him. There is no one else that we can breed in the clan. No one else. We have what? I mean, he just turned. We have 6 moons, that means. We need to get this clan to somehow survive for 6 moons until Hypor is old enough to take on a mate. I don't know, guys. This season might be the final season of Luminous Clan. Okay. First up, we have loyalties. Nothing has changed over here. Everyone who is currently in the clan is fiercely loyal to Lupine Star. They have no choice but to believe that Lupine Star is going to be able to lead them out of this. That aside, there has been some promotions because Pale Shade was exiled. Sunchill is a deputy again. Tornfern is our medicine cat, promoted to medicine cat, and Mousestripe has entered politics. I think this is the first time he's entered politics as a mediator. That's right, the first time Mousestripe has entered politics as a mediator. Before, that used to be kind of Hal Falcon's position over here. So that's what we have going on. Let's take a look to see what everyone's doing for the day. Lupine Star is proud of the way the clan is handling things lately. You know what? Maybe she's feeling very good about how the clan is dealing with the shock of Hal Falcon's breakup and then his murder. At this point, I think the clan, could have absolutely fallen apart, but I think everyone is just so mentally ravaged at this point that all they know is that they have to survive somehow. That's all they know. Obviously, some of the cats like Sunchill are taking it much harder and breaking down, but as far as Lupine Star is concerned, the clan needs to keep going, and she's proud that the cats are trying their best to do that. Sunchill chases Kits out of his den. Oh, so I'm assuming he is thinking about the, younger members when they were kittens themselves. So he's probably dreaming in the medicine cat den right now, and he's thinking about the clan when it was a little bit younger, it was a bit more vibrant, and, they had more clan members, they had more kittens, and he's like chasing the kittens out of the den, and Sunchill. Tornfern does her best to console her clanmates about Hal Falcon's death. Mousestripe has recently given a wonderful speech to fellow clanmates, boosting morale. See, look, all these cats, they're kind of banding together to try their best. Tornfern, she lost a former apprentice and a former mate in Hal Falcon. So, yes, there is that connection, but she is trying her best to make sure others are able to get through it, others who are more deeply affected, like Sunchill. And Mousestripe, he is trying to honor his, mentor. His mentor has passed away, Hal Falcon, by giving a wonderful speech to the clanmates and trying to guide them by saying that Hal Falcon was a very, fierce cat when he was alive, and I think he would want you to face the world fiercely after his death. Highpaw helps out around camp in between his duties, which is very, very sweet of Highpaw, who has some bruises, especially given that he does not get along well with his mentor at all. But he's doing his best to help out. Stoneспec doesn't like how times have changed since she was young. Of course she doesn't. She's been around for a long time. She's 162 moons, and she was born in the series, guys. So she has seen the clan go through a lot of things, and she has never seen the clan on the brink of extinction, which is where we are at right now. We are on the brink of extinction. Ay, ay, ay. Magpie Heart bargains with StarClan, begging them to send Hal Falcon back. Oh, Magpie Heart. He lost his son. He wants his son back. He didn't get to have the joys of, keeping his mate by his side. He didn't get to have the joy of seeing Hal Falcon kind of get beyond young adulthood. Hal Falcon was only a young adult, and he didn't get the joy of seeing grandchildren or great-grandchildren like Cloudrun did. So I feel bad for Magpie Heart. And I think quite a few episodes back we were comparing Lupine Star and Magpie Heart. We were saying how Magpie Heart got the happy ending with his son that Lupine Star didn't get with her daughter. And now, these two siblings are one and the same. They've both lost their mates, their surviving children, and now they're like the last one standing. Okay, well, let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with patrols. Okay, let us resume with patrols. We currently have 9 prey. We need 14.5, which means our non-medicine cat patrol is going to be focused on hunting, but our medicine cat is feeling good to go, so let's send out Tornfern and see what she gets up to. It's not finding fresh juniper that's the problem. As an evergreen plant, juniper is known to grow reliably even in the cold seasons. The problem is that juniper grows in large shrubs, sometimes large enough to be literal trees. Climbing in these slippery conditions is a disaster just waiting to happen. Proceed. Tornfern finds a couple of juniper trees with their evergreen leaves shocking against the scarcity of leaf bare, but none have any branches that are low enough to harvest from safely. Okay, and now we are sending out Highpaw and his mentor on their first ever patrol, and it's going to be a hunting patrol, of course. I am worried because we have come across a lot of snowstorms in the past. It is leaf bare. Okay, let's see what happens. It starts snowing soon after the patrol sets out, trying to bring back anything for the fresh kill pile. Proceed. Despite the snow, the patrol manages to hunt successfully, lurking where the songbirds forage. Only a couple, but in this season, that's more than enough to count as a success. As Lupine Star leads the way home, a sense of security and competence drives them onwards. A small amount of prey is brought to camp. Okay, so we managed to get just enough to be able to feed us. We now have 17 prey, and that is where we are at, guys, with only 7 cats in the clan, on the brink of extinction. But okay guys, with that said and done, I'm gonna leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.